on. It's going to be a very, very interesting session because typically I usually look forward to our project showcase because that's the only chance our interns get to showcase themselves. Okay, so I'm looking forward to a very exciting session, and I hope you are also looking forward to that too. All right, so I'm going to introduce myself, but before I do that, I would love for you guys to introduce yourself in the chat. Let me get to know you. I love, knowing people that join my session. So in the chat, just tell me your name and where you're joining us from. You could also add the career path that you're interested in, just for context, so that when I'm talking about somebody, I know that you're interested in maybe data analytics or data science or data engineering. So I'm just going to give you guys like a few seconds to do that in the chat. I'm looking at the chat, guys. I'm going to introduce myself, and it won't be fair if you do not introduce yourself too. So it's just courtesy, okay? So I'm looking at the chat. I'd love for you to get to do that. Just a few seconds, just a few minutes to do that. Then we are going to go straight into it. Okay, I'm yet to see anybody. I don't know. Are you guys not what's happening? I'm looking at the chat. I don't think anyone has introduced themselves. If you didn't hear what I said that you should introduce yourself in the chat. So while you guys are doing that, I just want to briefly remind you all of why we are here again today. You've been hearing about Amdari. You probably, before I even go ahead, if this is your first session with Amdari, please give me a thumbs up. If this is your first session, you've never heard about Amdari before, this is your first encounter, you've never attended any of our sessions at all, give me a thumbs up. Great. We don't have any thumbs up. That means you guys have actually been with us and you've heard of what we do one way or the other. You have an understanding about what we do. Now, today is that day where you get to see things in real time happening, right? Before now, you probably heard us say, oh, we train, we give you guys experience, you get to work on projects, you get to do this, you get to do that, but you've never really come encounter with our interns before. That's why we organize sessions like this, so you get to know about the impact that our interns are literally making and what they've been doing, how Amdari has been able to impact them, and the different changes they've been able to see within themselves and in their technical experience since they joined. Between when they joined and now, there's always going to be a difference, and it's always going to be very, very clear. So that's why we host sessions like this. I can see Michael in the chat. Michael is joining from the UK. Hi, nice to meet you, Michael. It's only Michael that I know in this session. Okay. So the rest of you, I do not know any of you. Just few seconds. Nothing is going to happen. Just give me a few seconds and let's get to know ourselves. Okay, so what exactly are we going to talk about today? All right. So if you're here and you are a data professional, any of the data career paths, data analytics, data science, data engineering, you can just in the chat also type DS or DA or DE if you're in data engineering. So if you belong to either of these, just let me know because today is for you. Okay, so today you're going to learn why most data professionals don't get hired. Yes, data career paths are literally the most in demand career paths today. But the truth is that it's not everyone that's getting hired. Yes, every day someone is learning a skill either in data analytics, data science, data engineering. But the truth is that it's not as easy to land a job in that career path. So you're going to learn why these guys aren't getting hired. And also you're going to understand why Amdari makes what makes Amdari interns different, right? What's that thing we do that makes our interns stand out from every other person looking for these roles? The same data analyst job you're looking for, you have over 10,000 people looking for the same role. So what's going to make you stand out? And why are we bragging? Why are we telling you that come to Amdari, we're going to help? What makes our interns different? You're going to learn about it. In today's session, you get to learn more about the work experience internship, and you also get to ask your questions. And finally, at the end of today's session, you're going to learn about our special offer to you. Now, before we start proper, I just want to let you guys know that we have the attendance form in the chat. So please do well to fill that attendance form so you get access to all the resources and all the materials that we'll be talking about in today's session. So just take a few seconds of your time to fill the attendance form. My colleague has already dropped it in the chat. So you just go there and, fill it, few seconds, and you'll be done with that. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's get to know about me. Since the rest of you have refused to introduce yourself, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Victory, and I'm a data-driven growth strategist. Usually, I host this kind of sessions because I love speaking with professionals such as yourself, and I also help you guys transition seamlessly into the tech space through expert career advice. So, in today's session, you're going to ask questions. Obviously, you want to learn a lot more about how you can easily transition, the necessary steps you're supposed to take, and also where you get to start from to get to where you want to be at. So all this is in my scope of what I do. And currently I work with Amdari as a growth associate, right? So enough about me. We are not here for me. We are here for Amdari interns. So let's get straight into it without wasting any time. What is the reason? Why is it that most data professionals don't get hired? Now, it's not common. It is really not common. If you've probably learned data analysis or you've learned data science, you've learned the skill in data engineering, and you're finding it hard to land a role. I want to hold your hand when I say this. You're not the first person. It's not the first time it's happening. It's not unique to you. It's actually more common than you would even imagine. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because a lot of people do it the wrong way, right? A lot of people focus on the wrong things, and that's why they are getting overlooked. Learning the skill, very, very important, because at the end of the day, you are using that skill to solve business problems. But I want you guys to understand the essence of your role. Why are you a data analyst in the first place? Are you a data analyst because you're just using Excel, Power BI, SQL, or are you a data scientist because you're just you're working with machine learning models and all of that? Is that the true essence of being a data analyst? Is that what recruiters are looking for? My answer to that question is yes, only 50%, if not less, right? Because there are people that probably don't have as much technical experience as you do, but they're landing these jobs. So you would be asking yourself, what are these guys doing differently? How are they getting these jobs? I'm here to tell you that instead of you focusing on just getting these skills, there are other aspects of your career transition you really need to pay attention to, right? So you guys pay attention, and I'm going to reveal all of this. The reason you're getting overlooked is because you do not have practical projects. Now, I don't mean, when I say practical project, I'm not talking about Kaggle projects. I'm not talking about open source projects that hundreds of thousands of people are working on. No, I'm not talking about any of that, because we're looking at how to make you stand out. So if you're working on a project that probably tens and thousands of people have worked on, that just makes you like them, right? So you need to have projects that make you stand out from the crowd. Kaggle is not going to cut it, right? Bootcamp projects, they're not going to cut it in any way. They are not. So you do not have this practical project, and that's why you're getting you're not getting, the necessary attention that you need to get. When I say practical projects are supposed to reflect you as a problem solver, an analytical thinker, and someone that literally just thinks out of the box and wants to actually solve problems, right? So if a recruiter is able to see that you are curious, they're able to see that you're a problem solver and you are able to use your skill set to solve actual business problems, then you're good to go. Okay, so that's literally what they are looking for. Another reason that you're getting overlooked is because you have a very big CV. Okay, you have a big CV and a weak portfolio. That's why you're getting overlooked. You feel like you could just put anything on your CV and it will pass for it, right? Do you know that people spend hours tailoring their CV to apply for job roles? But We have another category of people that just use one CV to apply for 20 roles. The difference between these two people is that one person is going to land a job faster than the other, and that's the truth. Every job posting is unique, right? And if you really want to land a job, you need to take the process as a job itself. Okay, so I'm just going to put this out again. We have the attendance form in the chat, so you'd have to fill that form if you want to get access to all the necessary information that I'm going to be sharing, including the slides and also the recording of this session in case you didn't start with us. Okay, so like I mentioned, your CV is vague. Your CV doesn't portray you as someone that can actually bring about necessary impact for a business. So it doesn't even pass the ATS test to start with because it is not structured. You can see that there's a lot involved. So if you're just focusing on, honing your skills, you're just solving like 50% of the problem at hand. The problem now is that you want to land a job, you want to transition, right? You want to transition, you want to land a job, but you are focusing on one aspect of what it entails. You need to understand, I've already mentioned, you don't have practical projects. You don't have projects that would turn the recruiter's head. You're just working on cargo project that every person has worked on. The second is that you have a very weak portfolio. Your portfolio looks like any other person's portfolio. When I talk about a portfolio, I mean a repository that has your projects, right? Your portfolio should have different projects that you've worked on. And when you're choosing a project, you should be very, very careful, right? You should be careful of the kinds of projects that you're putting up on your portfolio. There are some projects that you could just do like a personal, okay, I just want to work on this, right? I feel like working on this just because of your interest. But if you're putting projects on your portfolio that you want to show to recruiters, they need to be very, very detailed. They need to reflect you as a problem solver, and they need to be very unique. So if someone asks in the chat, can I talk about projects? Don't worry, you're going to see projects in this session, right? So I've mentioned your CV. Your CV is vague. You need to also work on that because your CV is where people, that's literally your first encounter with the recruiter before the interview. So you need to make a good impression. You need to structure it well, tailor it. A lot of you don't even know that every country has a way its CV is supposed to look like. That's why you're not even landing a job. You're trying to apply to a job in the UK, and you're not structuring your CV the way it's supposed to look like, right? Okay. All right. That's just it, right? In terms of the CV. Now, another reason is that you can't confidently answer scenario-based questions. And when we talk about scenario-based questions, we're talking about, during an interview, they're asking you a question and you can't answer. The reason you can't answer is not even because you can't talk, it's just because you do not have experience to talk about, right? You do not have anything to communicate. Sometimes it is easy to just tell someone that does not have experience in an interview. I've been in such situations where you could just be like, no, this person doesn't have that experience. Because if you have experience, there's a way you communicate what you know, so people can, the recruiter will be convinced that you actually know it. When they ask you scenario-based questions like, tell me a time you were able to, manage a difficult stakeholder. If you've never been in that scenario before, trust me, you are going to find it hard to actually communicate in a very convincing way, right? You won't be able to talk about it. Even if you form something, it's going to be obvious that you're just making something up, right? Now, finally, another reason is because you do not have any form of work reference. And this is for my guys in the UK. A reason, all right, share your screen, speaker. Let's read together with you. Who is this person? Okay, just fill the attendance form if you want access to the my slides, you can fill the attendance. Okay, all right. Now, another reason is because you do not have work reference. This is common with guys in the UK, right? You're trying to look for a better role. You're tired of care jobs, and now you want to transition into tech. They're telling you should have had some kind of previous work experience with a company in the UK before, and you're like, how do you want me to have this experience if you do not want to give me my first job to get this experience? This is where the problem is. So you can see that a major reason here why you're even finding it difficult to land a job is because you do not have that experience. You do not have that real world experience where you get to work on actual problems. You do not have real world experience where you get to add projects to your portfolio. You do not have that experience where you even get to practice, how to answer scenario based questions. All right. You don't have any of that experience. And that is exactly where Amdari comes in. And that's also why we are here in this session. So you get to hear about our interns and how they do things over here, what they've been able to do. Okay. So Amdari helps you to bridge that gap between real world between your theoretical knowledge and your practical experience. So everything I've mentioned, I'm just going to give you just a brief highlight about what we do. Then I'll allow my interns to speak. Each of them, they're going to take 10 minutes, and you get to understand what they've been able to do so far and how the program has been able to impact them. Then I'll come back and explain how you can join them. Okay. So we focus on these major career paths: data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, SOC, ethical hacking, GRC. These are the career paths that we focus on. Now, how do we help you? We help you to gain real world experience. You get to work on projects, real life projects. Somebody was asking about projects here. You get to see the projects our interns worked on, so you understand the kind of projects that would make you stand out. These aren't projects that every other person is working on. These are real business problems that you're going to be working with. Okay, so you're going to have access to this, and you would learn how to gain the same experience that these guys are gaining. Okay. All right, so in a couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you guys what makes them different from every other person that's in the job market. I am confidently coming here I'm confidently coming here to tell you that Amdari interns stand out from every other person because of what they are gaining in the program. Okay. And when you get to listen to them, you'd understand exactly what I am saying. So what makes the program different from every other boot camp? What makes it different from every other regular training and all of that? It's not a training organization. Okay. All right. These guys are working in teams, either a cross-functional team or a regular team. They get to work in team. Okay. Okay. There's someone in the chat distracting me, Mr. Chinedu. If you're not finding the session interesting, you could as well. Okay, that's fine. All right. Now, they're working in teams. They're not working by themselves. Okay. They are going to be working with other people. And some of these teams are also cross-functional. Okay. There are teams that maybe the project manager gets to work with, the data analyst gets to work with the web developer, web designer, and all of them are coming together to collaborate on just one project. They're gaining their cross-functional collaboration skills by doing so. Now, this is something that a typical boot camp isn't going to give to you. Okay, a typical boot camp is not going to give you this kind of experience. Most times, you're the only one that gets to work on projects. Okay, now you also have the end-to-end project ownership. These interns coming to present their project. They work end-to-end on this project with their teammates. So nobody is coming here to show you projects that other people worked for them. Okay, now they get to use real world tools that actually make sense in the industry standard tools. They are working with that, and they're also involved in things like sprint cycles, stakeholder reporting, dashboards, data pipeline, and actual ML modeling. Okay, they also have excellent written and verbal communication. Now, in a few minutes, each of them are going to take 10 minutes to talk about this project. Okay, so we have Ade Damola on the call, we have Weyemi on the call, and we have Ade Mayowa on.
Hi guys, please give us a minute so she'll be back on call. Hi Efe, do you want to say something? Hi guys. So at this point, the interns are going to present their slides for the project showcase. Okay. Hi Esther, are you ready? Hi Esther. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. Are you ready for the project showcase? Odeleye, are you here? Okay, since she's not here yet, Oyetayo, please, if you are here and I can see you. Please, you can share your slides and start presenting. Okay, you're muted. Okay, hold on. Let me unmute you. Odeleye, you can go ahead and share your slide.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, louder than clear. Good evening.
Okay, thank you. I would like to share my slide now.
Are you having challenges?
Yeah, sorry, please hold on.
So, Mr. Chidi, the slides are going to be shown now and we'll start discussing the project. Okay? For those of us waiting for it. Just stay on the call. Thank you. If you're having challenges, perhaps Oyetayo, you can step up and take the floor. Oyetayo.
Okay, I would like to share my slide now.
Okay. Okay. While delay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Just to be sure, can you see my slides, please, guys? All right, thank you. That's lovely. So I'll just be giving a brief presentation on what I've been able to achieve within my few months of being in Amdari. And I'm going to be presenting one of the numerous projects I've been able to work on. So the project I'll be speaking about now is about transforming an on-premise infrastructural data to the cloud. So I'm going to start with an example. We all put money in the bank. So let's just assume you have like a lot of money in the bank, and you're constrained in having access to your funds, maybe due to limits in transfer limits or things like that. So this is the case with the company in which we helped in finding a solution to the challenges they have with their data. So I work with a fintech company named Apex Solution. Apex Solution at this point collects their data and puts it on-prem. When we mean on-prem, we mean data. I'm sure we've seen situations where we see stacks of cabinets, things like that, where people go, and it's called data warehouse in companies. So they had their data warehouse on site. However, the fintech world is evolving and it's moving at a very fast pace. So due to that, Apex Solutions are experiencing increased customers. However, the data infrastructure they have on site is unable to cater for the numerous increase of their staffs. So what we were to do here is to solve that challenge of trying to ensure that they are able to they are able to scale at a level in which they can be able to ingest all data and make informed decisions that will help in the business growth. Before I go further, my name is Oyetayo Adedamola, and I'm an intern at Amdari. So this is just a picture representation of the hurdles being faced and the challenges the company is going through now through the limited ability of them to work on their data due to having their data on site. So as I said, I'm working with Apex Solutions, and Apex Solutions are facing challenges with their on-premises data. And so I'm just going to be discussing quickly on the challenges being faced. Scalability. So due to them having their data infrastructure on site, it's very difficult for Apex to be able to cater for increase in customers coming in. And if we're also, when you talk about having data on-premises infrastructure on site, it also has to do with high maintenance costs. So let me say, for instance, you experience increase in your customers or subscribers to your business. That means at every time you need to think of increasing your data warehouse, increasing the things you have. And also due to the fact that they had data silos. When you say data silos, that means they had data in different batches in different places. Maybe let's assume the finance team had data in a location, the procurement team had data in another location, or let's just imagine the HR team had data in another. So it was not all in one. This was part of the challenges and limitations being faced by having data on site. So this is the current infrastructure or the previous infrastructure being used, which was very limited. You can see the process. We could see different data coming in. We can see customer relations data. We can see CSV flat files and various files going on the database. And as I said, the database is very limited because the capacity, it cannot, if they need to increase the capacity of the database, that involves a lot of resources and expansion, which might be time taking, and which could make them lose a lot of customers or take advantage of the unexpected growth that they might have. And the last one is the data visualization tool which they use to connect to the database. So what's the goal and what's the aim of me and my team embarking on this project. The aim and our goal and the business challenge we try to solve is moving the data infrastructure from on-prem to the cloud. We know the cloud is where everybody is going to now due to its limitless services, which can help in making good business decisions. So the business is trying to move and also can enable them to be able to scale as the growth in their business increases. Also to streamline I was able to use various tools by using GCP resources, which can take in various kind of data. Also, we have addressing system challenges. You know, when you go on the cloud, when let me say AWS, Google Cloud Storage, but in this particular case, Google Cloud Platform was used. You have access to limited resources, which will make your processing of data very fast. Also, centralizing, analyzing financial data, that is ensuring that we are able to have the data all in one and be able to process it so that we can make good business decisions for Apex solutions. So those were the objectives. Here are the tools that were used, and I would just like to mention here, majority of these tools I've never played with them, I've just heard them. But during my brief stay in Amdari, I've not only been able to play with them, but I've been able to successfully use it to solve this business challenge. So we have tools like GitHub, which is used for version control. We have tools like Google Cloud Storage, which can take in various data types in its raw format. We have Apache Airflow, we have BigQuery, we have dbt, we have Looker, we have Draw.io, and programming language here used was Python and SQL. In the next slide, I would make detailed explanation of how these tools came in handy. So I'm just going to paint a scenario to every one of us. So I'm sure we are all familiar. We've all been to the supermarket at one time or the other. So let's imagine you're working in a supermarket now, or yeah, I'm sure we're quite familiar with the supermarket environment. And let's imagine we are meant to pick up a good from the manufacturer's location and display them on the shelves in the supermarket. So I'm going to use that scenario to explain what we're able to achieve during this project. So the data source is the good we are going to get from the manufacturer. The Python SDK is going to be the vehicle in which we use to move the goods from the manufacturer. The Google Cloud Storage is on the Google Cloud Storage is on GCP, which is a Google Cloud platform, which was used to ingest the data. We have BigQuery. BigQuery is like the warehouse. You know, when you get packages from the manufacturer, you just don't display them. You take them to the warehouse. And dbt, you know, when you get goods from the manufacturer, you don't just display it on the shelves. You need to process it and make it presentable in such a way that the customers would fancy and look at it and want to buy it. So that's the work of dbt. And Looker, let me say, is the shelf where we visualize it. And you know, this process needs to be managed. You know, if there is nobody managing the process, there could be challenges. So that's the aspect in which the Apache Airflow comes in. So the Apache Airflow is used for orchestration. What it means orchestration is used to ensure that the process seamlessly runs right from the data source, which is called the goods from the manufacturer, to the Looker, which is on the shelf. So I'm just going to start again so we understand data. The data source is our raw data, which I called the goods we got from the manufacturer. The SDK was used in transporting our on-prem, our data on the on-prem, which means maybe in the racks, where somewhere in the office where data was stored. So our SDK was the vehicle, was the means in which we used, the Python SDK was the means in which we used to move the data from on-prem to the Google Cloud Storage. I want to talk about Google Cloud Storage. As I said, that is like the warehouse. That's the place where we store things, we store things in the warehouse. So that's work of Google Cloud Storage. And when you look at BigQuery, the BigQuery is where we do the analysis. When you get packages from the manufacturer, you need to put in the label, the cost, the amount, things like that. So what DBT does is to transform the data and make the data be in a format in which the business can use it to make good decisions to move the business forward. So that's the work of DBT. And Looker is the shelf. I'm sure many of us are about things like Tableau. So Looker is something like that owned by Google. So we use that for the visualization. So that's just an explanation of the process. And all these tools were what we use to solve this business decision. And I must say also Apache Airflow is like the manager, which ensures that all these processes goes on seamlessly. So these were the things that we were able to achieve during this project. So I'll just give you a quick walkthrough through the project itself. This is some of the codes. I know this is not something you need to think about a lot, but this is some of the things we use. This is some of the code we use, and these are things you would get to be familiar and use easily if you take your time to work on the project. So as I said, everything I said, all this. So this is where Airflow comes in. You can see Airflow was what was used to ensure that all this took place seamlessly. For instance, if you come here, you can see uploading. I had a file, some of the on-prem or on-site data that was moved to the cloud. Some was from Progress, some was from local files in the system. And this was moved to our Google Cloud Storage, from our Google Cloud Storage to BigQuery. I know this might look like jargons to you now, but trust me, all this process was seamlessly done using the Airflow, in which we're able to move the data to the cloud, process the data in the cloud, and use it to make good business decisions. This is just some of the data after being transformed. I'm just showing you based on after moving them to the cloud and using some of the services that was in the cloud. And here is just a quick and a brief visualization of from Looker after combining all the data and doing all the processes. So we're able to do a bit of analysis on our data. Yes, so I'm just going to be concluding now to let you know what I and my team was able to achieve during this project. We're able to successfully move the fintech on-premise data to the cloud. The Google Cloud Platform was used. We're able to transform the data. I mentioned DBT. It's just like getting the goods and making it presentable for the customers to buy. That was work of DBT, processing the data, making it in a manner that the business will be able to make good decision. I talked about Airflow. Airflow is like the manager, ensuring that the process of moving the data from the on-prem data to the cloud went on seamlessly to transforming the data. We're able to achieve that. Also, we're able to reduce the limitation of the hardware services. When you talk about when you have your racks, you have your database on site, it comes with a lot of maintenance costs, AC, and those resources that were used, or those money that were used to do that, can be used to spend more money on maybe data analysis, or spend more money on trying to make good use of the data. And also we're able to build something that is scalable, future ready. As we know, the cloud has limited the cloud is limitless. So, as your data grows, you can fine tune your pipeline to be able to be suitable for whatever growth that might come in. So these were the things we were able to achieve during the project. Yeah, thank you very much for listening to me. And this is just a description of how the team felt and how our activities and the things we did were able to affect the business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Damola. That was a very interesting one. All right, so we're just going to go straight to our second intern. We have Wayemi Lori on the call. Wayemi, just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. And we also have Damola here. Okay, all right, great. All right, so I'm just going to give the floor to Wayemi to talk about what he's currently on. He's the data analyst consultant at Amdari.
Sure. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name is Wayemi Lori, a data analyst intern at Amdari. I joined Amdari 2 months ago in March, just March here. And sorry, can you guys hear me? I didn't even ask. I just started. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I joined Amdari 2 months ago, and I'm a data analyst intern. Just a little of my background. I would like to say that I'm not the kind of type that likes talking. I'm not like our host, Victoria, who loves to communicate and meet with people. I love being in the shadows, doing my thing quietly. But when I joined Amdari, I've been able to understand and learn that communication is a big part of being a data analyst. And then since then, they've really assisted and helped me in trying to move from my being in the shadows to try to come out to the limelight. Like my instructor will always tell me, if you are a chef, you cook the food, you should be able to present the food and not just hide and let somebody else present and showcase. So thank you. Shout out to my presenter, to Amdari, and my mentor. So I'm here to just talk about this project. Please bear with me. It's a project about a company that is into logistics. So let me start the slides. So I understand that a lot of people are in a hurry. They don't want to read the slides. They just want to go straight into the project itself. Please just bear with us. You will get the slides. You can read it. So I'll just try to brush through some of the slides. So like I said, this project is just about improving business efficiency through automation. Particularly we'll be using Office script to track KPIs, which is key performance indicators, and build business automated ad hoc reports for real-time impacts. Like I said, my name is Wayne Milori. This data is from Streamline Logistics Limited. All right, like I said, Streamline Logistics Limited is a company that is into logistics. They're in the logistics industry for about 20 years now. They've been doing well, but all of a sudden, recently, they've started having issues with their deliveries, with their customer satisfaction, with having bad negative reviews online and all that. And that is where we come in as a data analyst to try to figure out and find out where the cracks have started showing in the world. All right, like I just said, they started having mounting order backlogs, visibility gaps, customer frustration, bad negative reviews online, and escalating costs. These are just part of the problems that they have Streamline Logistics have started experiencing in recent history. Now, so when we got this data, you see, this data was presented to us. It's an Excel data file that was presented to us, and we started the process of preparing the data. So we started data please forgive me, pre-processing, sorry, then data pre-processing, then data exploration, then we built the dashboard, then we went to the KPI ad hoc, and then made an ad hoc report with automation, and then insights and recommendations. Fine. Now, this data, like I said, it's an Excel data file. The data set contained 1,500 rows, 14 columns. The data had order ID, order status, delivery time in minutes, allocation rules, customer feedback, negative and positive, even neutral, driver ID, truck numbers, truck, type of truck, mode of transportation, and all that is the comprehensive data. And then this data did not have any missing values. There was no duplicates, no inconsistencies, because we checked for them if there was any inconsistencies in the data. There was no inconsistencies, no missing values, no duplicates. And then we now proceeded to to work on this data. The exploration stage now begin. This is where as a data analyst, I like to talk more about this. So this is where we start asking questions, start querying the data, asking the data what's going on, why is this happening, the what, the why, the where. You start asking questions like how many orders did you have, how many orders was in the report, how many how many clients did we deliver products to, when did we deliver the products to them, what time did we go early, were we late, did we delay, why did we delay. You see, you start asking all these questions. How many staff was involved in the process of delivering, how many drivers did we use, was there enough drivers on site. You start asking questions, and you know, data speaks. When you query the data, when you ask the right question, the data will answer you back, and then you'll be able to start seeing insights. You'll be able to build a beautiful, just with numbers, you'll be able to build something very beautiful just with numbers. So, like I said, this, after asking so much questions from the database, from the data, we now got this information. Like I said, the company had a total of 100 employees on site, drivers that did this work. We could see a total of 1,500 orders. You also notice that this orders was only within 1 week, in the month of September. Just 1 week, they had 1,500 orders, and in this order, they had about 733 deliveries that were completed on time, and then 767 were not completed on time. However, even the 773 that were completed on time, you start asking questions that, why were you seeing so many negative reviews, even on the orders that were completed on time? Because by the time you start deep diving and seeing what's going on in the data, you start seeing, oh, these drivers are having issues, these drivers are not having issues. You start seeing things that you could use to answer some of the business problems. Now, like I said, the KPIs and ad hoc report automation. You see the KPIs, total employees, like I take you back one step, total orders that the company had. These are all KPIs, key performance indicators. These are all KPIs. You can also check order by day, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesdays, to see the influx of orders that came in and see how the orders went out. You understand? So these are just all the KPIs. Then you have to talk of ad hoc reports. What are ad hoc reports? Ad hoc reports are simply reports that are one-time reports that you just generate to send to your boss. Most of the times, you will not always want to be in front of the computer crunching numbers or writing codes. You understand? Just write this code once, record it, and then whenever your boss wakes you up 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, Laurie, I need this, you just press play and send to him, or just send it to him in a file. Or you could be in vacation. You understand? That is what you may be in vacation, and then he doesn't even need you because you've already sent him some the scripts, office scripts. So this is just an example of how the on your left is just an example of how the office script works. You see on the left is an empty blank file, and on the right, this is after the automation has gone forward using office script. So this is it in full. Weekly delivery report. You see the day September, weekly delivery, first week on the 8th till on the 9th. You see the KPIs, total order 1,500, average delivery by time, average delay by time. You see the order completed. It's just, like I said, ad hoc result is just a one-time report that you send to your boss that comprises all the information that he needs to see. So key observations. You can see, okay, let's see. Let me quickly see, bring you here to see the project itself, because I noticed you see, like I was saying, this is the let me hide this. Yeah, so this is the data set itself that had order ID, delivery address, order time, delivery city, which of the cities these particular goods are going to, you see. completed orders, incompleted orders. You see, this data set is long, is huge, 1,500 rows. You can't possibly be going through it one after the other. You have to start querying to see. And then, because we're talking about office script, you can't always come and start querying data every time you need to get insight from the data. Then you now use office script to record your actions, and then you can easily send it to your boss. You see, this is a pivot table I use in creating this dashboard. I didn't understand that. Creating this dashboard. What's going on? Let's say go back. Okay. Beautiful. All right, so this is the dashboard we are talking about, Streamline Logistics Solution Dashboard. You see, so you could see orders like Monday. You click on Monday. You see, on Sunday, you see all the orders that came in on Sunday. You see on Sunday we have 112 orders. Orders completed, 98 outstanding. You click on Monday, you see the same thing, 81 completed, 96 outstanding. You see all the rules that was used, the drivers that delayed. Like this driver D21 had the average delay on this day on Monday of 21 minutes. You can cancel this. You can check by zone, and then you see. But we're talking about office scripts. We're here to see office scripts in action. So you see, this is your empty file. If you have already done what you're supposed to do well, you create your office script and your commands the well, you just come to your office script. You come to Power Automate. You click on all scripts. If you've sent this to your boss already, you don't need to start typing. When he asks you, Laurie, send me, I want to see an overview of all the deliveries of the deliveries for last week or this week. You just come here and just click. You can see here weekly delivery report. Just click play, and then it runs. It runs in the background. It already has the codes already, and then it runs, and then simple, voila. Your boss has gotten this already, and he said, oh, wow, thank you very much. You did a very great job. From here, you can immediately see that our customer feedback satisfaction is very low, 32%, very, very low. While our negative feedback, customer satisfaction, look at negative, 35. This is very high. We can see also that the completed orders here is 46%, and in progress is 51%. From here, you can also see that some of these routes have high delay time, and the fastest route to take is route 5. So we would encourage our drivers that whenever you're going on delivery, please go through route 5. You understand, for easier and faster delivery. But then we're concerned about this negative. Why is customer satisfaction low? And I remember the business problem we're talking about. You could now say, okay, let's see the driver weekly report. If you just come here and press play, office script runs at the background, follows the commands that you've given to it already, and then voila, it brings this out. And then your manager could easily see, okay, driver weekly feedback reports. You could see the drivers on ground, total deliveries. You could see total negative feedback. You could see negative feedback percentage. You could see that this driver has a very high negative feedback percentage of 53%. You start asking yourself, why is it that high? You see, he had the total trip he has done in this 1 week, he did 17 trips, and you could also see that in these 17 trips, he had 9 negative reviews. Such a driver recommendation for him is you can warn this driver and train him more. But you see that there are other good drivers like D87. You can see that he has done 11 trips within this week, and then he has only 1 negative feedback, which gives him a negative feedback ratio of just 9%. Such a driver, you can showcase him and give him incentive, because nothing like incentive works a lot and boost the morale of those who are doing good, and then motivate those who are not doing good to try to aspire to meet the standard of those who are doing well. You start to create this data, you can easily start seeing things that you start asking, okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's see, okay, which are the drivers that have the highest let's see, 60%, 60%. Let us see which of the drivers that have more than 60%, and then queries into the let's see, come here, clear, come here, yeah, is greater than or equal to, yeah, we want to see. Okay, so let's try something else. Let's use 0.6. So 0.6. Okay, for some reason I'm having glitch, but let's clear this. Okay, anyway, we could come here and say, okay, let's just see all those drivers that we want to terminate that having more than 60%. Yeah, these are the drivers here. You see, this driver has 64% negative feedback. A driver that has done 11 trips and then he has 7 negative feedback. These are the people that's giving the company a very bad social media presence. You see, this driver has 12 trips, and 8 of those 12 trips are negative feedback. How about this D90? This one, it really sticks out. D90. You can see that D90 has done just 8 trips, and in those 8 trips, 6 of them are negative feedback. 6 are negative feedback, 75%. Such a driver, you don't need him in the company. You might not be able to rehabilitate such a driver. You just terminate and replace the driver. C, D, 81, the same thing. Total deliveries 10, and then 7 of that is very bad review. Now, these drivers do not care because at the end of the day, it's the company that is bearing the brunt of this negative review. So these are the drivers that you can should easily quickly let go and then bring in better drivers. So you can see that it's very easy to run PowerScript. And of the truth, I never knew of this PowerScript until I joined Amdari. I never knew about it until I joined Amdari. So let's try and run it again. You come here and say, okay, let's say next week new data has come in. Your boss doesn't need your attention anymore because you've done the homework already. He just press play. He queries the data set and brings the answer and gives to your boss. You see, and this is it. Same thing here. You run it, it queries the database and brings the answer to your boss. Immediately you start saying that, oh yeah, if you want to see drivers that did the lowest trips or the highest trips, it's easy for you to see them here. And you now start answering questions like why. Okay, let's see. Let me quickly show you something that you notice that they are positive. You notice that some of these positive, you see, positive some of these positive reviews are even on deliveries that are delayed. So if you come here, you start asking why is it that you have positive reviews on some delayed consignment? Why? You now notice that it is driver inefficiencies, driver problem. It's not just about being quick, but the driver attitude is also bad. So these are things that will now form part of our recommendation. So come here. So like I just showed you this already. Slide. So these are things that I just already ran through from the dashboard. You could see key observations that the customer satisfaction rate is low, 32%. You ask your questions, why is it low? You start noticing that because maybe drivers are being rude to to our clients. Maybe they even sell some of the client, they load consignments before they get there. You start finding out that okay, most of these reasons are not just because of delay, bad roads, or delay in delivery. You start noticing that bike C also had the highest average delay among all vehicles. So these are things we now start putting into consideration. Do we need to phase out all our bikes, or do we need to bike C? Do we need to phase out bike C, or maybe all our bikes, bring in new bikes, or do we need to transition into vans instead of bikes? This is giving us very much delay in delivery. And when there's delay in delivery, there's always low turnout, because a vehicle that's supposed to do, for instance, 20 trips in a week is delaying in its 1, 2, 3 trips. At the end of the day, he does only 12, and then there's also downtime downtime in delivery, and then this also affects the bottom line of the company. So these are key recommendations, like I've said: reduce backlogs by enhancing workforce, improve customer satisfaction, communication, always let the customer know if you're coming late, if you're on time, when the driver is there, always try to speak with the customer. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for listening, and that's all I have for you today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you so much. That was a great one. All right. So our final intern for the night, we're going to listen to our final intern. She's here and she's going to present to us. Okay. All right. You have some recommendations in the chat. People are saying they loved your presentation, so that's great. You can go ahead and stop sharing, so she will be able to share her screen. All right. Okay, let me quickly unpin you. Okay. All right, so finally we have Mayowa. Hi, Mayowa.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Okay, you can go ahead and share your screen and, give us what you have for
Sorry,
us.
can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I don't know, my camera is not working.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I really want to appreciate Amdari for this privilege, and I want to thank everybody that is listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you. Okay, the project I'll be talking about is optimizing retail banking strategies through RFM-based customer segmentation. And the specialization of the project is using machine learning for customer segmentation. And the tools that I use include Python, which is the programming language, libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and I use terminals and Streamlit to deploy the model. So this business project is about bank trust. So bank trust is a retail banking serving customers for over 40 decades, and is committed, to providing exceptional services to their customer. That has always been their hallmark. However, recently they have been facing a unique challenge, which is how to provide the same level of personalized service that customers enjoy when shopping online. So in this case study, we will explore how Back Trust is leveraging cutting-edge data analytics, and customer segmentation techniques to enhance their customer banking experience. So I said earlier that they are facing some challenges. Part of the challenges they are facing include customer churn, which is, they are finding it difficult to retain their customer. And we all know that retaining existing customer is much more cost effective than acquiring new ones. The other issue they have is, they're finding it difficult to personalize the experience to meet their individual customers' need. So, and the third one is inefficient marketing campaigns, which can lead to higher customer acquisition and cost and low return on investment. The aim of the project is to enhance the banking industry customer relationship management by implementing an RFM-based customer segmentation approach. Why are we using RFM analysis? The RFM stands for recency, frequency, and monitoring. Recency in the sense that how recently the customer engaged with the bank. Frequency means how often the customer conduct transaction, and the monetary is the total value of their transactions so far. So why are we using RFM analysis? RFM analysis can help bank trust segment their customer base effectively. It will, help them to categorize customers based on their transaction, maybe based on their first purchase, like that. Then it can help bank trust to identify the customers who has become less active or who have not engaged with the bank recently. And, recognizing this sign, this early sign will enable the bank to implement retention strategies to prevent customer churn. And the RFM analysis will also help the bank trust to optimize their marketing effort. So instead of using a general approach, to serve all their customers, they can now tailor marketing campaigns based on the customer segment. Okay, this project, to enhance the RFM-based customer segmentation, the project was deployed on a streamlined app in the cloud to showcase the activity of the customers. So I'd like to walk you through the data science project scope, the pipeline that we used for resolving the business problem for bank trust. The first one is loading and inspection of the data set. This is to understand the structure of the data set, to identify the key features, to check if there are missing values, and also to assess the quality of the data before data preprocessing. Then the next stage was data cleaning and preprocessing, which includes handling the missing values, correcting data types, removing duplicate, etc. Then the next one is carrying out exploratory data analysis to gain more insight about the data and to understand the data characteristics. Then we use the RFM analysis to perform customer segmentation based on their purchasing power. And with this, we're able to identify high-value customers, low-value customers, potential customers that are at risk. Then we further use the unsupervised learning with K-means, for clustering, that is grouping the customers based on similar characteristics without using label. It's unsupervised because it doesn't have any label or any target. So, okay, the tools that are used for the project include, using version control system. We use a NumPy for performing mathematical operation, pandas for data analysis and manipulation, Matplotlib and Seaborn for data visualization, scikit-learn for machine learning, and the programming language used was Python, and the model was eventually deployed on Streamlit. Okay, before I move on, I want to tell us some of the characteristics of the data set. The data set contains 1,041,614 rows and 9 columns. So this bar chart is showing the transaction date distribution. That is the date in which the customers transacted business with the bank. And from the table, we can see that the transaction date, the data set that we used for this analysis was about 3-month data set because it's between August 2016 and October 2016. And we also realized that the bank had more male customer base than female because 73.1% of their customer base were male, while 26.9% were female. This histogram is showing the recency distribution, that is how recently the customers engage with the bank. The frequency distribution, that's the one in the middle, and the monetary distribution, which is the total value of money during the transaction. From the table, we can observe that most of the customers had their last transaction between 40 to 80 days ago. Very few customers are recent, which suggests low engagement or infrequent activity across the customer base. Then looking at the frequency chart, most customers had only one transaction. The frequency drops off steeply after that because very few customers make more than 2 to 3 transactions, and even fewer make more than 3 or 4 times transaction. So the business insight from this is that the low frequency customers indicate a need for engagement strategies. Also, looking at the monetary chart, almost all customers are clustered at very low total spending that is less than 0.2 million. This extreme skewness is possibly due to a few high value customers skill this skill. In the course of this project, we are going to see, the number of the high value customers, if it outweighs the low value customer or the potential customer. Eventually, because this monetary distribution is rightly skewed, we have to transform the data using a logarithm function. Then we went ahead to calculate the RFM metrics using quantiles 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75. I want to state that for recency, the lower the quantile, the better for the business. While for frequency and the monetary, the higher the quantile and the better for the business. I went ahead to assign weight to recency. This is based on the project aims and objective. Because the project aims to optimize retail banking strategies by leveraging RFM-based customer segmentation to improve customer retention, enhance personalization, and to increase marketing efficiency. However, all the three metrics, the recency, frequency, and monetary, were used in combination for the segmentation and the strategy. This table shows some of the features. It shows the features that we used in performing for segmenting the customer into clusters. Okay, we used elbow method for optimization. From the chart, we can see that the distortion score elbow for KM clustering has an optimal number of clusters, which is K, as 3. And then we went ahead to verify that using Kalinsky-Arambas score elbow for K-means clustering. And it gave us the same optimal number of clusters. So this confirms that based on the data set that we have, for us to be able to, see the underlying structure or pattern in the data set, is best that the data set is segmented into 3 clusters. This is shown, by the K equals 3, which is the optimal number of clusters. The bar chart here showed the 3 clusters that we have. We have cluster 0, we have cluster 1, and we have cluster 2. From the bar chart, you can see that the customers that are in cluster 0, they are about 340,000, while the ones in cluster 1, they are about 380,000, and the ones in cluster 2, they are about 130,000. This shows that the customers in cluster 2, they are very, very few, while we have most of the customers in the cluster 1, and why the cluster 0 is far greater than those customers in cluster 2. So using some descriptive statistics and using box plot, we're able to identify that the customers in cluster 1 are potential customers, and based on these, they have moderate RFM scores, which means they could be loyal customer with proper nurturing. And we recommended the strategies that is personal to target personalized marketing to them by offering them small incentives or first-time purchase discount. Then that the bank should continue to monitor the engagement to promote loyalty. Then the customers in 1, they are the code leads. From the bar chart, you can see that was the customer segment that has the highest number of customers. We eventually identified that they were the code leads or low value customers because they have low RFM scores, they are inactive, and they are low spending customers. So some of the strategies that we recommended were to use re-engagement campaigns such as email, SMS, to entice them back to patronize the bank, and to provide time-limited offers, and also to ask them for feedback or reasons for their inactivity. With this, the bank trust will be able to properly tailor, the needs of that customer so that the customers can become active. Then the customers in cluster 2, they are the high value customers. They have high RFM scores, they are loyal, they are frequent, and they have high spending. They are high spending customers. Although the bar chart shows that they are not much, in fact, their number is the least in the bar chart, but they are loyal customers, and we recommend that the bank should focus on retaining them, maybe using loyalty programs to offer exclusive rewards or early access, to ask for referrals or review. So the above are the recommendations that we made for the bank. So we deployed the model on Streamlit. So I'm trying to open it now. Okay, this is the RFM customer segmentation dashboard. Sorry, I'm trying to load the data set. Sorry. Okay, this dashboard is an interactive dashboard, and the first table here is showing us the features that we used for this the customer segmentation. We have the recency, frequency, monitoring, and recency score, frequency score, the monetary score, the RFM score, and the cluster. Looking at the first customer here, it has a recency of 26, frequency of 2, monetary value of 5,106, and the recency score was 4. The frequency 2, and the monetary score was 4, which gave us the total RFM score to be 10, and it falls into cluster 2. So let's move on to the summary statistics by cluster. Like I rightly said, I told you that based on the unsupervised learning using K-means, we're able to segment the customers into 3 clusters, cluster 0, 1, and 2. This table is showing the summary statistics by cluster. The recency, it shows that the recency has a mean of 44.07 for cluster 0. It has a mean frequency of 1 and mean monetary value of 1,505. While for cluster 1, it has a recency mean of 69.94, the frequency of 1.0, and the monetary value for 1,536. And we can see from the table that cluster 2 has recency of 48.23, frequency, it has the highest frequency, then the highest number of engagement, and it has the higher number of monetary higher amount of monetary value, which is 3,619. Also, stay on the cluster distribution. the count of the customers in, as shown in the bar chart, the count of the customer in cluster 1, 393,121, with a percentage of 44% out of the total customers. Then the customers in cluster 0, they have a count of 345,496 and a percentage of 39.34. While the customers in cluster 2, they are the lowest. They are the ones with the lowest number of customers, which is 139,642, and they form 15.9% of the customer base. So this percentage, the customer distribution percentage by cluster, is displayed in this pie chart. Okay, based on all the descriptive statistics that we have shown, it shows that the cluster 0, they are potential customers. The cluster 1, they are cold leads. Cluster 2, they are high value customers. That was why we were able to, recommend the strategies based on the kind of customers they are. Thank you very much.
All right, Mayowa, you're done, right? Mayowa,
Yes,
sorry.
yes, I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your presentation. That was an interesting one. Okay, so it's good to know that our interns actually know what they are doing. Honestly, I know that if I wanted to give them time, they would have gone on and on about their projects, but we do not have that much time. So in a few minutes, all right, Monica said amazing presentations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. These guys are Amdari interns, and you can also be like them. You could also be able to get to that point where you work on projects that you could literally showcase and present. You guys could hear when the data analytics intern said that before now he wasn't a fan of presentations, and trust me, he's not the first, neither would he be the last. Okay, there are a lot of people that hello, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, okay. So this is the kind of work that recruiters want to see. Thank you so much. I do not really know what's happening today. And also, they have done the project, they have it ready, and recruiters want to see this kind of work. Okay, they do not want to see cargo projects, they do not want to see makeshift projects. And also, if you're an Amdari intern, you have access to a reference letter and a portfolio, and you can see that these guys are also building their technical and their communication skills. Okay, so you could be asking yourself, how exactly do I gain this real world experience with Amdari? Now, you could also be like them. You could also learn how to use these tools. You could also learn how to communicate, how to work in teams. All you need to do is to join us, okay? And I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do that. First of all, before I tell you how you can do that, let's talk about how it works, okay? What it entails to become part of the Amdari work experience internship. Now, when you come on board, you'll be working with at least 6 to 10 industry-based projects. And these projects are real business problems. You could hear when they were talking about their presentations, you could hear that those projects weren't makeshift projects. They were literally solving problems for different businesses and gaining experience while doing so. So you can see that they actually worked on actual business problems. And the best part about these problems is that it spans across multiple industries. Now you can see that these projects, we have projects, your first project could be in healthcare, second one could be in logistics and supply chain, third project could be in the manufacturing industry, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you're gaining experience across board. You're not just limiting yourself to one particular industry. And because you're working across various industries, your role is going to mimic the particular industry you're working for. So what do I mean? If you're working in a, let's say, in the marketing sector, for example, you have a project in that sector, you might be working as a marketing analyst for that particular project. That's your role for that project. Okay, so you can see that you'll be able to gain experience across these different roles too, because the way you're going to approach a project as a sales analyst may not be the same way you'd approach as a, let's say, logistics and supply chain analyst. Even the data sets, they're not the same. That's why you're gaining experience across these multiple roles and across these multiple industries. It also increases your chances when you are trying to apply for jobs, because now you're not limiting yourself to just one particular industry. You could literally apply to as many industries as you can. Now, in addition to this, you are working in teams, like I mentioned, and you are also working across various technologies. When Damola was speaking, he also talked about the different tech stack he got to work with. Same thing with Mayowa and also the data analytics intern. Yes, he also got to speak about the different tools he was working with. Now, if you're trying to come into Amdari, you should understand that foundational knowledge is very important. You need to have your foundational skills in check, okay? Because this is where we are going to build from. And why am I saying this? Amdari is not a training platform. All you need to do is that you'd have probably gotten training somewhere, or maybe you've done a boot camp already and will be able to build on that, because now you could work on this project. And even in situations whereby you come across challenges, we have resources to support your current knowledge already. But if you've not done anything at all, you're going to find it hard to to cope with the program. Okay, so that's why we expose you to multiple tech stacks, so it will be easy for you to adapt. You have access to your team leads too, and you're working in teams. You're not just working by yourself. You get to collaborate on this project with your teammates, and also you have team leads to help you out. Okay, so this experience is just to give you confidence, so that when you land a job tomorrow, you'll be able to excel very well in that role. Okay, because we understand that recruiters are looking for competent candidates. They're looking for people that actually have experience, and this whole internship is designed to give you the exact experience that recruiters are looking for, which is beyond your technical capabilities. It goes as far as communication skills, stakeholder management, collaboration, presentation, even to the least as presentation. We cover all of that. Okay, and the internship experience also gives you the access to network with people. We have guys in the UK inside our internship. We have people in the US, Canada. Even your presenters are in different countries, but they are all coming together to work in a remote environment and collaborate on projects. They are learning from each other. They are also gaining experience while working together. So that's the kind of that's literally what you should be expecting if you're coming on board. In addition to this project-based experience, you get to have employability skills. Now, we go beyond just teaching, helping you to learn how to work on this project, how to work as a data analyst and all of that. We also ensure that you are employable. And what do? We help you to revamp your CV and also review it. We do this with you because we understand that the CV is actually your first contact with your future company, and a lot of you are doing it the wrong way. That's why we also help with this. So we have specialists on board, especially for employability, that are, they are specifically to help you revamp, review your CV, and also optimize your LinkedIn. In situations where you're transitioning from another role, like you're trying to come in from another industry, we are able to tailor your previous work experience by using your transferable skills. So you can see that the experts on this, they actually know how to fill up those gaps, and they understand what is expected. So they'll be able to structure your CV in a way that would be able to land you an interview. Okay. We also have guys in the internship. If you joined us earlier, we were sharing some testimonials about the interns that were able to land jobs in the program already, and people that got interviews and all of that. So we optimize your LinkedIn, because LinkedIn optimization, your LinkedIn is also another another, should I say, access for you to get opportunities. So we do not want a situation whereby maybe you apply for a role and the recruiter goes check you out, it checks your profile, and what you're saying on your CV doesn't really correlate with what you're representing on your LinkedIn. We tailor all of this, okay? Yes, Michael, it covers project management. All right. So we do this so that everything aligns with your professional, growth and all of that. Like, you are the professional that you say you are. That's literally the point, okay? And also you have access to one-on-one mentorship. Now, we have mentors on board that have experience in the field. I mean, 6 years of experience, 8 years of experience. These guys, they've done what you want to do, and they've gone through all these different processes. They've made the mistakes, and now you do not have to make that mistake, right? We have sessions whereby you get to listen to them and also learn from them. If you were to reach out to these guys by yourself, you might not even be able to have access to them, because they are very, very busy sets of people. So we make the internship such a way that you have access to these people and you would be able to reach out to them. Same thing with your coaches. If you face any form of challenge, you'll be able to reach out to your coach for help, for advice, for insights, whatever the case may be. And you have access to your team leads too, to guide you with this project. So if you face a roadblock, you would be able to reach out to them and they would provide you with help. Okay. Interview prep is also a very, very, very important aspect about what you're going to get when you come on board as an intern with Amdari, because we understand the whole essence of this is for you to become very employable and also for you to land a job at the end of the day. So we do not want situations where you land an interview and you're not able to sell yourself, you're not able to sell your experience. This is why we prepare you for interviews, so that you would be able to communicate effectively, right? You have these presentation sessions where you get to practice, and also the interview, we also conduct some kind of mock interview session where you practice answering some of these questions, and that way you're still gaining experience at the end of the day, so that when you land an interview, you know what to say, right? During these mock sessions, you would have probably gotten feedback. And trust me, once you get those feedback, you would implement it in your next interview. Okay. So that's the whole essence of it, so that you are prepared and you'll be able to communicate and also convince the recruiter that you're the right person for the role. Now, you have access to a job reference letter. This reference letter, you can ask us for it up until 2 years after your internship experience with Amdari, right? So if you finish your internship after 6 months and you still need access to a work reference letter, we are going to give this to you. We're registered in the UK and we're also registered in Canada. So you are going to have, if you're looking for a UK work experience, Amdari is the right place for you. Same thing for the Canadians. If you're looking for a Canadian work experience, you're trying to land a job in the UK or Canada, and they're asking you, oh, we need you to have a proof of work experience from a UK company. We are going to give you this reference letter as that kind of proof. And if you land a job while you're still with us, you still need some extra hand holding, we still support you. Okay, even if you land a job after and you come to us for some extra support, extra help, maybe advice or whatever. partner with businesses across so it is these business problems that we assign to you guys in teams. Now, I mentioned earlier that you'd be working with a team of people. You're not just working by yourself. You're going to be working in teams. So when we assign you these business problems, we also assign you in teams. Okay, you come together, collaborate on this project, and come up with recommendations and findings for these businesses at the end of the day. You are gaining experience. You're working, literally, this whole experience is you working in the capacity of either a project manager, a business analyst, data analyst, business analyst, all the career paths we focus on. You're working in these capacities. And at the end of each project, you are going to do a presentation, just like what Mayowa did, just like what Damola did. It's not their first time they are doing this. So you do presentations like this for every project in teams. You're presenting in teams, okay? Now, it is a very flexible experience. Everything is virtual. We're not asking you to commute to any physical location. All you need to do is dedicate at least an hour of your time on a personal level to your projects and also attend your stand-ups. Stand-up meetings will be communicated at a time that works for everyone. So you come together with your team lead and pick a convenient time that works, okay? So it could be twice in a week, it could be 3 times in a week, and it's going to be at a very convenient time. So that's just to show you how convenient the program is and how flexible it is. Now, on your CV, it is going to reflect that you worked with Amdari as a consultant in these different capacities. Okay, so if you're a data analyst, you'll be a data analyst consultant. That's what's going to be on your job description. Okay, and also your CV, that's what you're adding to your CV. Then you're also going to add the different impacts you've made for these different businesses, tailoring it experience. If they ask you a situational based question, you'll be able to answer it because during the internship program, you probably came across some of those situations, okay? And you can also add this experience on your LinkedIn. You will add it rather, okay? So I've talked about the job reference letter already, and in essence, this is exactly these videos. All you need to do is to search up Amdari on your Instagram. You can search it up on Instagram or YouTube, and you'll be able to watch some of these testimonials from our interns. Okay, this is also just an intern reaching out for a work reference letter, and we were obliged to give this to him because it's literally his right. Okay, now we have a quote starting tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. I know it sounds really close, right? And the special thing about this cohort is that we're running a discount for guys that want to go in. So for those of you that also feel that, oh, tomorrow is too close, you have an opportunity to take advantage of this discount and secure ahead of the June cohort. Okay, so this is what the structure looks like. Now, we have the 3 months work experience, and we also have the 6 months work experience program. And someone asked in the chat, do you guys handle project management? Yes, project management is one of the major career paths that we also focus on. You can see data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, PM, SOC, ethical hacking, and all of that. You can see it on my screen. So I mentioned about the discount. Instead of you paying the original amount of £500, you get to pay the discounted amount, like you can see on my screen. And the best part about this is that you have installments planned for each of them. I'm going to break that down very soon. Now, the same thing goes for the 6 months. Instead of you going for the paying the full amount, which is £900, you get to pay the discounted amount of £750. You could be asking yourself, what's the difference between the 3 months and the 6 months work experience? I'm just going to tell you that real quick, okay? So if you're looking for like a quick fix, you just want something fast, you want to add a few relevant projects to your portfolio and get back into applying for jobs and you want to gain experience as soon as possible so that you can land a role fast, you go for the 3 months. Usually, we recommend you guys to go for the 6 months so that you spend more time working on more projects. So, in terms of the experience, both are the same. There's literally no difference. The only difference with the 3 and the 6 months is the number of projects that you're going to be working on. Okay, so if for the 3 months you work on 4 to 5 projects, and for the 6 months you work on 8 to 9 projects, and these projects are relevant projects in the industry, real business problems that you're going to be working on. Okay, now for the installment plan, if you can't make a one-off payment of the discounted amount, you have an installment plan for both the 3 months and the 6 months. So let's say you can't make a one-off of £390, you have a 3 installment plan there. You have up to 3 installment plan where you can spread then and £50 payment across 5 installments, up to 5.
Hi everyone, good evening. So sorry about that. I think Victory is having network issues. Sincere apologies about that. Okay, but from everything she has said so far and how the internship program works, and what our interns have said. I'll be dropping the link in the messages. If you're interested in securing your spot, please do so. But if you have any questions, please just raise your hands and I will attend to your questions. Thank you. You can also ask your question in the chat box. And yes, everybody has the opportunity to unmute their mics. Thank you. Please, in case you did not get me, if you have questions, you can raise your hand and ask, or just unmute your mic and we'll answer your questions. Thank you. Okay, I think Victory is back. But yeah, please feel free to ask questions. Use the chat box, use your mic, unmute it, and ask your questions. Abby, Francis, Michael, Victor, Sarah, Sahid. Any question? Oh, I can see Kelson is on the call as well. Tunde, did we understand everything that happened today? Please, if you have questions, ask. That's why we're having this session. Victory, over to you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so at this point, we are going to take questions. Then I'm going to drop the link for a clarity session where, in case you want to get any more clarity about what we've discussed today, what you've seen the interns present, and all of that, you can also sign up for the clarity session. So if you have any questions so far, now is the time to ask your questions while I share the clarity link where you get to ask. Maybe you want to have a more detailed understanding about what happens at Amdari. You've seen the interns present and you still want us to explain more to you. You can go ahead and ask your question. Okay, like I talked about earlier, Amdari is where you get to gain
Okay, guys, so I'm going to take it from here. And if you have questions, you can go ahead to ask. Please, you can unmute your mic, raise your hands, and ask questions, okay? The onboarding is around 4 p.m. tomorrow. So yes, it's actually very okay for your timing since you're joining from UK. So if you may want to secure your spot now, tomorrow cannot guarantee that the discount will still be available. And I'll share my slide if you'd like to see the price. Okay. So if you have any question, any career question, any question regarding how the internship works, how you can utilize the internship while you also do your night shift, while you also do your 9 to 5, you can ask, and I'm going to help you answer those questions. So Francis, can you unmute your mic? Can you speak? Francis Fua. Hi, Francis. Hi, Michael. Can you speak? I see you asking question on the chat, Francis. So you may want to unmute your mic and talk to me.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Francis.
Yeah, my name is Francis Afua.
All right.
I've actually enrolled for the PM career path.
Okay.
So I just want to be sure to be able to, align the timing, because 4 p.m., like you said, may not be if you are using the Canadian, time zone. It may not be 4 p.m. for us in the UK. I don't know.
No,
if you
it is West African time. That's why I said
Okay.
I think it's 11 p.m. Yeah, it's West African time. It's we are using West Africa UK time, so there's no problem with that.
Okay, so 4 p.m. is 4 p.m. here.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's what I got. I received. I think I just received something now, but saying a different thing.
What did you receive? So different, when I answered your question, different program have their timing. So I gave you, yes. So which time is yours?
Yeah, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. So that's 1 p.m. UK time.
Okay.
Yes, it's UK time, West African time. Right now we are running on the same time. I think when the timing change, you people either be ahead or will be ahead of you.
Okay.
Yes.
Good, that's fine.
Thank you. All right. See you tomorrow.
All right. Cheers.
Hi, Victor. You can unmute your mic.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. First of all, I want to say thank you for the section. It's really interesting and educative as well. And I would say that from what they presented, it's really an intense work. So thank you very much. Yeah. So my question is, I'm looking to go into data analytics internship, and being somebody in healthcare assistant. Do you think there's any transferable skill from there, like that might help? What's your advice or take about it?
Okay, so yes, you have transferable skills, and also it's easier for you to navigate towards health analysis or health analyst as a career. Now, why do I say you have transferable skills? It's like somebody who is coming from finance career, okay, or accounting, and you're going into, you want to go for data analysis. Obviously, you understand the data that you're going to be working with. That's number one thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
What you need to do is learn all the tools you need to analyze data. Learn your Power BI. I mean, if you've gone through boot camps, that is what's expected of you. You must have learned how to use these tools, or at least have a knowledge of how to use these tools, right? Then you come to Amdari, you work on real life projects. Now you can easily, data analytics is very broad. Once you know how to analyze data, you can now decide to specialize in health analysts, becoming health analysts. Those are coming from finance and financial, field, can specialize in financial analytics. And you see that if you're applying for financial analytics as someone coming from financial field, it's easier for you to even land the job, because obviously you've worked in this field before. Now with your data career, do you understand? Same way, you're coming from the health environment, you already understand everything that has to do with health, the privacy of the health data. Okay, they don't have to start teaching you over again. You understand everything that has to do with it. If you are trying to you're walking around, maybe some name of some maybe drugs or medication. Sorry, medication. Some people don't call it drugs. Okay, you already understand those things. You already understand how to navigate anything that has to do with healthcare, because you're already in that field. So all that you need right now is just to get the data analytics skill. Every other thing you have it. Do you understand?
Yeah. I get your point. Yeah, and thank you very much for the advice. That's really very good. Yeah, it's a really good point. Like already knowing about all the all their data. Yeah, that's good. So another thing is I'm in UK, and healthcare assistant always work 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
So concerning the internship, to me now, I'm feeling like it's going to be something that I'm going to struggle about how to hustle about the timing and all that.
Okay, you are not going to struggle, and this is how the internship works. Okay,
Yeah.
when you get onboarded, right, you have the line manager. I'm sure maybe she has mentioned that. Now you have stand-up meetings twice weekly, and all you have to do, they say little drops of water makes an ocean.
Mhm.
They put you through the project overview. I will give you an example here. Okay, let me give you an example of one of the projects as a data analyst. They put you through the project overview, and all you have to do is to dedicate 1 hour, okay, from your time. Yes, you work shifts, you come back, you catch some sleep because it's very important. You have the time, look into one of the projects, do something in the project, okay, because these projects have timeline or time frame that you have to finish it, okay? It's not a stimulated project. If it's stimulated project, you can submit at any time you want, but because they have time frame, okay, you have to submit at when due. So every day, just like they say, every day, do something out of what you want to do. Work on the project. If you have any difficulties navigating any tool, your line manager, that is why they are experts, okay? They are there to walk you through, that particular issue and ensure that you continue your project. Do you understand? It's just what you have to do 1 hour. And the days you have more time, okay, you can decide to dedicate 2 hours. Do you understand? So that's basically how it works. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand now. Yeah. Okay. And also, okay, you already made mention of having projects from different industries. Like also like now you're advising me like to focus on more on the healthcare. So you also have like maybe some data set coming from healthcare that can give someone experience.
Yes.
Like
now, like I said, yeah, we have business partners across multiple industries. But as a data analyst, now, the reason why our project is across multiple industries and the reason why we build partnership across with startups or businesses across multiple industries is this. As a data analyst, yeah, if you only had worked, maybe you are done with you already know how to use these tools, and you work with an e-commerce company. For example, you work with Amazon, or no, not Amazon. Yes, Amazon, right? It's an e-commerce company.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get a job in a fintech company, okay, it will be a bit difficult for you because you don't understand their data sets. So most companies, when they want to hire candidates, okay, they will always tell you, oh, they prefer candidates that have experience in this only FMCG, or preferably candidates that meaning if you, Victor Williams, you have experience in Amazon, that is all you have, e-commerce data sets, that's all you've worked on. Francis has worked on projects for fintech. Francis has worked on projects for telecommunications. Now let's assume that and health tech, okay? Now let's assume that the company is a health tech company, and both of you in your interview. Maybe if they give you technical interview, both of you did well in your technical interview. It's a no-brainer. They will naturally gravitate towards Francis because the time you would take to understand their data sets, Francis already worked on something like that. So no need, as his company is already delivering on the job. I know that these companies don't have time to start, looking at, waiting for you to start catch up with what they are doing. You have to now understand 2 weeks, 3 weeks. At the end of the month, they're paying you free money. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they will naturally gravitate towards Francis. That does not mean you're not good, but it's a capitalist word. Even yourself, you naturally gravitate towards Francis. Okay, you don't have to explain too much for Francis. He has already worked on this kind of project, so he has been in this kind of industry. Francis should get the job. Francis, please don't make me laugh. So do you understand? So that's the reason why when we are building partnership, right, we ensure that we spread our tentacles across multiple industries so that your first project could be, for example, it could be logistics and supply chain now. Your second project could be maybe health tech. Maybe the next one may be energy company. You understand? Because you're coming in as a consultant under Amdari. So when you're now applying for job, it has already eliminated that bias. Imagine you're applying for job and it's the energy company, I say preferably candidates that have worked in an energy industry. You know that during your internship, or people have worked, last month people worked on energy, on project that has to do with that particular industry. Now, when I even call you for interview, I expect you, right, as someone that is intelligent, an intelligent data professional, as they're asking interview questions, tell us about the project you've worked on. Naturally, you gravitate towards that project and start telling them about that particular project. Do you understand? Exactly, that's how it works. Now, another criteria or another thing we also help you eliminate is technology. If they hire you, a data analyst in an ice cream shop, for example, okay, a small ice cream shop, they don't have many customers, 500 customers, perhaps. You don't need SQL, you don't need R, okay? You don't need all this programming language to analyze this data. All you need is Excel. So imagine working in this company 4 years. You have 4 years of experience as a data analyst, and the only tool you can use is Excel. And it's not your fault. It could be your fault, Sha, because not decided to improve your. It's not your fault because it's only Excel that they use. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And now, if you want to apply for better jobs, companies that are multinational, like Amazon, like name them, these people have huge data sets. This is where you always see them telling you they're looking for candidates that know how to use Python or R. Do you understand? Because they are working on huge data sets. They're not like the ice cream shop you were coming from. So you cannot get the job because you don't know how to use these tools. But with Amdari, all the projects you're working on, you're using different tools. The first project, you could use R and SQL. Okay? The second project may use Excel and, you understand, and different Power BI. Maybe you're using Microsoft Power BI and that type of Power BI. You are exercising your skill, building your skill across multiple, tools. So that when you are coming out, you are coming fully prepared. Okay? Somebody that joined our session yesterday asked the question. He said that what I'm saying is true. He is a cybersecurity professional. He wants to go for SOC analytics. He has written all the CompTIA exam that they have. Now, he had an interview. This company is asking him if he knows how to use one part. He did not mention the tool. He cannot even remember the tool. And because he has seen that particular tool, he have watched a video where they use it. As a smart person now, he wants to navigate himself. Yes, you want to navigate yourself, because you've seen it now. You want to use your wisdom to answer the question. But trust me, they will know.
Yeah, they will find out. Yeah.
They will know. You cannot outsmart recruiters. Do you get? And that's why he came to us. Even he joined us. He's going to join this May because, and he went for the 3 months because he just wants to gain that experience using SOC analysis. They will know no matter how smart you are. Do you get? Yeah. That's why we give this experience. You are able to use all these tools. So imagine as a data analyst, they're telling you, do you have experience using R? Okay, or maybe they call one other Power BI tool, and you know that you used it during internship. You can easily explain to them, okay, when I was working on this project using this tool, you navigate. It is easier when you've done something. It's easier to explain than when you are trying to be sneaky. It flows. Do you understand? So they will always know. So these are the bias that we've seen. We did our research. These are the bias we've seen that hinders people from getting a job. It's not that you are bad though. Okay. Another bias is your CV. So persons don't know how to revamp their CV for the particular job they're applying for. Another bias is LinkedIn. How are you a healthcare professional and you now transition to tech, but you are not, your CV, your LinkedIn does not even carry it. Okay. Another bias is portfolio. As a career switcher, maybe these Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, they already understand the importance of portfolio. How are you applying for a job and you don't have a portfolio website? As a tech professional, it's like a fashion designer coming to tell you, oh, Mr. Victor, I know how to sew the aguada, I know how to sew this suit. Okay, show me. He cannot show you. Do you have online presence? Do you have TikTok? He does not have. You will not give that person that money. Okay? Yeah. But the person that said, oh, Mr. Victor, I've made this outfit before, this particular color of suit, this pattern, I've made it for a customer. This is my TikTok. Look at it here. This is my Instagram. Look at the picture. You naturally gravitate towards that person. And that is how it is. Going as a data analyst, you're telling a tech recruiter that you have used Power BI, you know how to do a data visualization. Okay, let us see your Power BI skill. Because they need to know how your Power BI skill is. It's a skill. Some people don't know how to use colors in Power BI. They will use some kind of color that can be confusing. You will not even understand the data anymore. Do you get? Yeah. So that is why portfolio is important. And on Amdari platform, you have access to this portfolio for life. You're not paying extra money for it. Okay? You have access to the portfolio. We know everything that is needed for you, a career switcher, as a newbie in tech to land a job. And we made everything ready for you, down to interview processes, where we take you through interview, mock interview, have external recruiters to interview you, and then we'll push you out there to go and apply for job. Now, how do we push you out there to apply for job? First 2 months, as you join Amdari, okay? You are joining as a consultant. Part of your KPI, you have a KPI. Part of your KPI is to apply for job. Now, why did we do that? No matter how good you are, if you cannot sell yourself, you will not get a job. Okay? If you cannot sell yourself, you will not get a job. Some of us have stage fright. Me, there was a time I was applying for job, and applying for job is also a game of numbers. My first interview, I know I did this work, but I was rushing my words. I was scared. I don't even know. It's as if I was not understanding the question, but I know I understand the question. Do you understand? So that's the reason why part of your KPI when you join Amdari is to apply for job. First 2 months as you join Amdari, you've worked on at least 2 projects. Okay, you call for your CV review and revamp. They work with you to optimize your LinkedIn. Okay, and you start applying for job. As you can see right here, we have a job board here. You have access to remote jobs in this platform, but I always encourage consultants here. Once you start applying for job that first 2 months, don't focus yourself or don't focus your mind on just remote jobs. Okay, sorry, your aim at that point is to get as much interview as possible. So if you see a remote job, you apply. If you see hybrid, you apply. If you see what they call it on site, you apply. If the job is paying well, apply. If it's not paying well, apply. Do you know why? You need to pass through as much interview as possible. Your first interview cannot be like your next interview. Your first interview cannot be like your 5th interview, because as you pass through these interview processes, you start understanding the question. You start building more confidence. Okay, you start assessing yourself. Imagine maybe the second interview they put you through technical interview, and you did not do well. That is where you be like, line manager, I had an interview yesterday or last week. This was one of the technical questions they gave me. I did not know it. Do you understand? So you can also guide you, and you know that this is the loopholes you have, and you start working on those loopholes. Okay, imagine your 5th interview, you can bet yourself that I did well in this interview, they're going to call me. In fact, they called somebody in, shockingly, somebody got a job 2 months in, although he did not take it. Okay, like I said, that is your time to get as much interview as possible. So he was applying randomly, like advice. Okay, he landed a job. It is fully on site. Who wants to do fully on site? Me, I don't love fully on site. Do you understand? He rejected the job. Okay, but that alone has given him the confidence. Okay, now he can now start focusing on remote jobs and focus on those jobs. Now he has the confidence to answer interview questions. That's the point. So this is how we do everything to help you land a job. Now, for persons that have gone through boot camps, okay, maybe it's been 1 year since you went through boot camps, and because of how busy you are with work, you've forgotten some of the things you learned. This is a crash course. We have a crash course in our Learn platform. You have access to it. Okay. You're going for data analytics. This is, you see, Microsoft Power BI. Imagine, I don't remember how to use Microsoft Power BI. Either use YouTube or you come to the Learn platform as well. See, you just click on here. This is 3 hours, 20 minutes tutorial. Introduction to Power BI, the architecture of Power BI, the concept of the primary key, every damn thing. This is 46 minutes. This is 28 minutes. Do you understand? This is how the internship works. This is all the employability skills we give to you. All we are begging. It's not easy, trust me. It's not easy working. This is a work on its own. Okay? It's not easy working and still like doing another work on its own. It's a lot. But if you put your mind to it, all right, you will get a lot from the money you're paying for. Okay? Let me share this testimonial with you so that you understand what we are talking about. Just give me a minute. Let me just play this testimonial for us. And I'm going to drop the
My name
payments
is
down on the
and
chat.
I'm here to share my
Just listen to
experience
one of our
as
interns.
a data analyst training with Amdari.
Can you hear it?
So I started out
I can hear.
training with data analytics where I got to learn extensively skills that I needed to upskill, and also the tools that I needed to be a seasoned data analyst. And based off on that experience, I moved on to becoming an intern with Amdari. And what informed my decision was the fact that we we're given or we would be given live projects to work on, real life projects to work on, and also a lot of tools that I haven't come across or used in my daily work. So and it's been a very good experience. It's been great. It's been challenging because it is pretty much like a second job, and it would push you, and it would push you to actually do better. So it's been fun. I've gotten to meet a lot of people. We have teams, we have daily stand-up meetings. We've have mentorship sessions where we get to work on our CVs and just learn about the job market. Use different tools. Hear from other people and learn from them also. And also we have great mentors that would always be there for us whenever we needed help with anything. So overall, it's been a really awesome experience. And I started in November last year, and right now I have landed myself a senior role in procurement, and it was the training that I got from Amdari and also Analytics actually helped me and set me apart to give me the exposure that I needed to get the role. So I would encourage everyone out there that want to take go this line and take this opportunity to actually go for it, as it would help a lot and to give you the experience that you need. Thank you, guys.
You've seen it from the horse's mouth. I don't want to play another video. The other person's video is so long where she described how she's someone I was confused of which not those people that used to jump. You see business analysis, you go and learn it. You see data analysis, you go and learn it. But the internship shaped her focus, okay, to focus on one. And while working on this project, she realized that she actually has a capability of doing this job. And she's a mom of 4. So
Serious.
yes, look at her. She's a mom of 4. Okay.
Yeah, my name is Nima.
Most of them are mom. If you go to our YouTube, you will
I
see
have been
our
able
projects
to.
like this.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
think
those.
I've seen.
Most of them are elderly.
I've seen
Exactly.
some.
I would say better
Exactly.
for me
Look at the
because
quality of
it has afforded me the
training they're getting
opportunity
from Amdari.
to
Let's
kind
listen
of put a
to
structure
this lady.
around my professional life. Initially, I was going in all directions, picking up different kinds of. Today, I'll see business analysis. I'll probably try to study on my own. Then next, I want to do data analysis. But with this work experience, I was able to gain, hands-on experience on, real life data analysis, and it has really helped me to gain more confidence in being able to carry out those projects and also present them. So I would say majorly what I have gained so far from Amdari will be the opportunity to work on real life data, and also to work on not just one industry kind of data. So I've worked with various industries, and it has helped me to streamline the area that I feel like I would kind of align to, which is the finance industry. So I like data from the banking sector. It can be. I was able to work on different kinds of data, like data from the finance banking industry that had to do with converting customers from being students and categorizing them, segmenting customers, moving them from one segment to another using data. And at the end of the day, the organization is able to make informed decisions based on the segmentation. So we also worked on data that has to do with supply chain analysis, healthcare, and in fact bringing everything to life. And I've also had the opportunity to work in cross-functional teams. We're currently working with data engineering, data science team, and also project managers and the BAs, and we're working on real life projects. So I mean, it's an opportunity that I had never gotten anywhere else. I mean, I've gone to several different schools and trainings and opportunities like that, but this one is it's just a different one, and I have become more confident in interviews. I've become more confident, to defend what I know and also to project the knowledge that I've gained, the experience that I've gained, and so far so good. The sky is the limit. I'm still very much in the work experience, and so far it's been an amazing journey, and I would recommend Amdari to anyone looking for industry experience, as this is a great opportunity for you.
Okay. This is very long. If we leave it here, we're going to sleep here. So I just wanted us to, just hear from the horse's mouth. Okay, we're not telling you stories, and that's why Amdari is not for persons that are still trying to learn. You must have gotten, there are different stages of learning. Awareness, when you know the program you want to go for or the career you want to go for. Then knowledge, when you've gotten the knowledge. So this is the stage you come to Amdari. You've gotten this knowledge, you come to Amdari to practicalize everything that you've learned. Okay, so if you'd like to join the next cohort, that will be having their onboarding tomorrow, please secure your discounts. Okay, secure the discounts and make your payment while you receive the onboarding kit. I mean, I'm sure Francis Afua has already received his onboarding kit and everything he needs. You can actually do that tonight and receive the onboarding kit if you want to join May cohort. But if you want to join the June cohort, you can also secure this 16% discount and then start in June. All right. So the link has already been shared on the chat. And if you need more clarity, I'm going to drop a clarity link where you book one-on-one session with us and, get to ask more questions if you need more questions, because we'll still be ending this session now. Let me drop the clarity link so you can book our calendar, book a clarity session with us, and we'll get to meet you there as well. Okay, let me drop it on the chat.
I've dropped it already.
All right, thank you. So guys, thank you. Mr. Victor, are you enrolling tonight? Hi, Mr. Victor. All right, guys. So we are going to call it a night, and my colleague is going to reach out to us as well.
Hello, sorry. I stepped out. I heard you calling my name.
Okay, I'm asking if you are enrolling tonight.
Oh, I've already enrolled. So
okay.
Yeah. But I have to defer it next month because I'm a bit tight up this month.
No problem.
Yeah, so
I can see some of our people like Lois. I can see Lois has joined my session before. Welcome, Lois. So thank you guys for joining the session and have a good night rest. Bye.